Right now, the rain is back. Flash flooding remains a concern as more storms roll through southern Wisconsin.
And Madison's mayor is proposing a new $40 wheel tax for every vehicle in the city. What the extra money would be used for.
Plus, the Brewers put their season on the line. A win or go home wild card showdown at our nation's capital. We'll have an update just ahead.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Thank you for joining us. After some heavy downpours today, the rain will continue to be a factor over the next couple of days.
There are several reports of trees and power lines down tonight. Flash flooding is a serious concern in some areas, and many are already dealing with high water levels. Let's go right to Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti with the latest in our first alert forecast. Gary?
Yeah, not only were we dealing with the heavy rain, but we were dealing with some severe weather. Let's take a look at high-resolution Doppler radar. There is a tornado warning in effect for Waukesha County until 10:15. This is the same storm that moved over southern Jefferson County. There was a confirmed tornado near Wales, just outside of Jefferson County from the storm. It has weakened a little bit as it's pushed into Waukesha County. But again, some strong thunderstorms continue from south of Whitewater to south of Janesville. The severe weather threat across southern Wisconsin is lessening, but the heavy rain threat continues, especially over the southeastern portions of our viewing area. 2 to 4 inches or more of rain has fallen from around Lone Rock to north of Madison into Dodge County. Widespread flooding being reported in Dodge County and also some flooding in Grant County. Right now there is a severe thunderstorm watch until midnight for south central Wisconsin, including Madison. Flash flood warnings in effect for southern Grant County, all of Dane County, Sauk and Columbia and Dodge counties until around midnight tonight. Flash flood watches continue for all of southern Wisconsin until tomorrow morning. Hopefully the rain will start to taper down after midnight, but we'll continue to watch showers and thunderstorms into tomorrow that could cause additional flooding. I'll have more details and weather in a few minutes.
Gary, thank you. And with the flash flooding concerns for the city tonight and into tomorrow, the City Engineering Division is asking people to not park in low-lying areas, avoid high flood risk areas. You can also report any potential flooding in your area to the city. We have a link on how to do so at channel3000.com.
In northeastern Wisconsin, the city of Green Bay has broken its record for annual precipitation, and there are almost 3 full months left to go. The National Weather Service says so far in 2019, precipitation has measured 39.23 inches. The old record was 39.21 inches, which was set just last year. And as we prepare for more rain, be sure to stay with News 3 Now and Channel 3000 for the latest weather information, and download our Channel 3000 First Alert Weather and Traffic app. It is free right now in the App Store. As the mayor introduced her proposed operating budget today, it's not so much what's in the budget that has people talking.
There's still no money for additional police officers. This comes just a day after former police chief Mike Koval said his frustration with that lack of funding pushed him to retire abruptly ahead of this budget process where he knew he wouldn't get the funding again. The budget does include annual mental health check-ins for police staff, something the department had asked for. Also, a part of the proposed budget, Madison's mayor proposing a $40 wheel tax for vehicle owners in the city. Madeline O'Neill explains why these taxes are becoming more common statewide and where those funds will go. Maddie?
Well, funds raised from a wheel tax have to go toward local transportation costs. So part of the fee would help fund the city's bus rapid transit system, an initiative from Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway to increase bus usership and decrease ride times. But not everyone is on board. Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway is looking toward the future, hoping a rapid transit bus system will be part of it to help fund the planned dedicated lanes and larger buses. She's looking to the owners of other vehicles.
I'm supposed to be retired and carefree, and I'm not. So it's kind of scary.
Under Rhodes Conway's proposal, Madison vehicle owners like Pam Klinzing would pay a $40 wheel tax as part of registration fees.
There's no particular science to it, but that level is what we felt was needed, not just for this year, but again for the long term.
I just think that it's way too much.
Car salesman Keith Norris agrees.
People constantly complain about the fact that wheel tax. They don't want it.
The proposed fee is on top of a $28 wheel tax adopted by Dane County a couple years ago.
Oh, that's just another pile-on, another tax.
Klinzing and Norris are in support of the bus system, but ask Rhodes Conway to look in another direction to make it happen.
Find another way.
Rhodes Conway says she's tried, considering budget cuts.
Many of the cuts that we didn't take would have, I think, much more drastic impacts on the community.
The mayor says state legislature limits on how municipalities can raise revenue makes the wheel tax the most realistic option.
You're seeing that across the state as more and more cities turn to vehicle registration fees to raise the needed revenue.
According to the nonpartisan Wisconsin Policy Forum, in 2011, 4 communities had imposed a wheel tax. By the end of 2017, that number went up to 27.
There really aren't very many additional options.
Klinzing says if car costs keep rising, soon she might not have many options either.
Oh, the bus is very important to a lot of people that can't afford a vehicle, and that may be me shortly down the road.
The Wisconsin Policy Forum points to property tax limits imposed by the state 8 years ago as possibly part of the reason more municipalities are turning it to the wheel tax. Now, if Madison passes theirs, it would be implemented sometime early next year.
All right, Madeline O'Neill reporting on. Maddie, thank you.
Also, starting today statewide, the Wisconsin Department of Transportation is increasing fees to update your vehicle registration and title. Title fees will increase from $69 to $164. Your car registration fee is also going up to $85, which is a $10 increase. There's also a new $75 annual surcharge for all hybrid electric vehicles. On the county level, Dane County Executive Joe Parisi says his proposed 2020 budget focuses on removing barriers to opportunity and challenges facing the county's most vulnerable residents. The plan includes a new Office of Immigration Assistance within the county's Department of Human Services and adds another full-time bilingual social worker. It also bolsters the county's commitment to Centro Hispano.
Too many of our immigrant neighbors experience fear daily in the place they should feel the safest, their community. The resources we created, both within county government and with our partner support organizations like Centro, continue to be stretched with the very real needs of families thrust into living day to day in fear. Our neighbors need us, and we need to do more.
In total, the proposed budget includes more than $180,000 new dollars to support our local immigrant communities. It also puts $3 million toward the county's affordable housing fund.
New developments are expected tomorrow in the murder case of Teresa Halbach. This after Brendan Dassey's legal team spoke with CBS's Anthony Mason.
When Brendan Dassey was in special education, he was in 10th grade. He required an aide to sit next to him in the classroom to help him understand the teacher's spoken sentences, then shift him into the interrogation room, where he was barraged with 1,500 questions over 3.5 hours. You don't have to be a lawyer to understand how an interrogation like that would overwhelm someone like Brendan Dassey.
And Dassey's attorney speaking to CBS this morning about the next step in his legal fight. Watch it tomorrow morning, why she says she believes he confessed to a crime he did not commit. Madison police have arrested one of the suspects wanted in a Northside homicide investigation where a teenager was shot over the weekend. The Violent Crimes Unit and its Madison PD SWAT team took 33-year-old Lee Arthur Taylor into custody this morning after locating him inside a home on Horde Street. The shooting on Saturday left 19-year-old Malik Moss dead. He was shot several times, found dead in the 500 block of Northport Drive. Police are still searching for a second suspect, 37-year-old Lawrence Thomas.
2 teenagers have been arrested after a home and car are hit with gunfire on the east side of Madison. Officers arrested 17-year-old John Trey Larson and 18-year-old Octavius Crone. Witnesses say they heard upwards of 14 shots on Milwaukee Street around 7 o'clock this morning. A home and car were hit, but there were no reports of injuries. Police found a van they believed to be connected. A short while later, it was crashed into the front yard of a home on Todd Drive. The 2 teens were found at a nearby home. 2 more vaping-related deaths have been reported today, bringing the nationwide total to 16. The latest cases are from Virginia and New Jersey. 14 other deaths have been identified across the country as part of the multi-state outbreak of lung injury associated with vaping. Several cases of lung disease related to vaping have been reported in Wisconsin, but no deaths.
So ahead tonight, more rain in the forecast. Gary will rejoin us with a closer look at what areas are most at risk for flooding.
But first, some incredible video out of Taiwan as a bridge collapses into the water below. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Flags are at half-staff as ceremonies are being held across the state of Nevada today, remembering the victims of the worst mass shooting in modern history.
On this date 2 years ago, a gunman shot and killed 58 people and injured nearly 700 others in the Las Vegas rampage. The 64-year-old shooter fired from the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino onto a crowd of 22,000 concert goers. Starting today, some Florida teachers can carry guns inside their classrooms. A new state law went into effect that allows districts to put in place at least one school safety officer per public school. That officer does not have to be an actual law enforcement official. They can be a school security guard or guardian. The law being implemented is based off of recommendations made in the wake of 2018's mass shooting in Parkland.
The city of New York has banned the term illegal alien when used with intent to demean, humiliate, or harass a person. The city's new guidelines, which were announced last week, also ban discrimination against someone based on their English proficiency and threats to call immigration authorities on someone based on a discriminatory motive. These violations can result in fines of up to $250,000. A new war of words has broken out between House Democrats and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo.
Lawmakers want Pompeo to turn over documents before the end of the week and are seeking testimony from key diplomats as part of the ongoing impeachment inquiry. Nicole Killian has the latest.
Mr. Secretary, do you have any comment on reports you're on the July 25th call with President Zelensky?
In Rome, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo ignored questions about whether he was listening in on the president's July phone call with the leader of Ukraine. But he did issue a scathing response to House Democrats' demands to depose top diplomats over the matter. He wrote, impeachment investigators may not interview key State Department officials this week and next because they need more time to prepare, and he accused Democrats of bullying his employees. Democratic leaders shot back that Pompeo is the one intimidating department witnesses in order to protect himself and the president. Lawmakers have also subpoenaed the president's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, who has now hired a lawyer to represent him.
We need to get all those people's testimony as far as what the State Department and the White House asked them to do, what Giuliani asked them to do, and what Giuliani was doing in Ukraine.
President Trump took to Twitter again Tuesday, calling the impeachment inquiry a coup and railing against the whistleblower. He tweeted, why aren't we entitled to interview and learn everything about the whistleblower? Breaking ranks with the president, Iowa Republican Chuck Grassley admonished, this person ought to be heard out and protected, and we should always work to respect whistleblowers' request for confidentiality. CBS News has learned that the State Department's Inspector General has invited lawmakers to a closed-door briefing Wednesday to discuss documents related to Ukraine. Nicole Killian, CBS News, the White House.
House Democrats secured an interview Thursday with former Special Envoy to Ukraine Kurt Volker and with ousted Ambassador Marie Yovanovitch next week.
A terrifying scene caught on video. This is in Taiwan. A massive bridge collapsed, injuring at least 10 people and possibly trapping several others. After the collapse, an oil tanker burned on what was left of the 460-foot-long bridge, much of it underwater in the bay. 5 people are believed to have been on that bridge when it fell. 3 fishing boats were crushed, crew members trapped. 60 military personnel are also helping search for possible victims.
And a note for anyone planning to travel in the future. In exactly 1 year, using a standard driver's license or ID card will no longer be acceptable to fly. Starting next October 1st, U.S. air travelers over the age of 18 will have to present a real ID compliant driver's license to pass through a TSA checkpoint. The required licenses are generally marked with a star in the upper portion of the card. Congress passed the Real ID Act into law in 2005 to improve aviation security. The IDs cost $14 or $16 for a duplicated card.
We'll get to Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti now for the latest on what's happening. A lot going on in weather, and not the least of which is all this water.
Yeah, it doesn't want to stop, and it looks like it's going to continue on for a while longer. Let's start out by first taking a look at the flood warnings that are in effect. These are flash flood warnings in effect until 11:30 p.m. for Dane County, including Madison. areas north of Dane County, Sauk and Columbia County into the northern portion of Dodge County until 10:30, much of Dodge County until 11:45. Emergency management officials in Dodge County reporting widespread road flooding there. Central and southern Grant County, flash flood warning until 11:45 p.m. And then for parts of eastern Iowa and northwestern Illinois, flash flood warnings run until after 3 a.m. There are also flood advisories for Iowa County as well as parts of Rock and Jefferson County into the Milwaukee area. If you're out driving tonight and you come into an area where water covers the road and you're not sure how deep it is, turn around, find another route, because it only takes about 18 to 24 inches of water to start floating your vehicle away, and you don't want to go where the flood waters are taking you. Severe flash flood watch in effect until 7 a.m. For areas west of a Platteville to Lone Rock to Camp Douglas line. East of there, including Madison, until 10 a.m. And a severe thunderstorm watch remains in effect until midnight. It's now been canceled for Dane County and areas to the north and west. Still Green, Rock, and Jefferson counties in the watch, but that will probably be canceled pretty quickly. The storm that prompted the tornado warning earlier this evening for Jefferson County, now moving through Waukesha and into Milwaukee County. There was some damage reported around Wales from a possible tornado touchdown. Also some wind damage reports around Fort Atkinson as well as this line of thunderstorms passed through. But the main severe weather threat is long and ahead of this main line of storms, which is now pretty much through southeastern portions of Rock County and moving away. But the rain, light to moderate rain, extends back toward the west, and some heavier thunderstorms extended to parts of eastern Iowa. So it's going to take a while for this rain to clear out, and we'll see some more rain tomorrow. Not as heavy, but any additional rainfall on top of 2 to 4 inches or more of rain that may have fallen north of Madison, and a general 1 to 2 inch rainfall elsewhere on top of what we already had over the last month or so is just going to cause problems with flooding. These red areas, about 2 to 4 inches or more of rain from Lone Rock, northwestern Dane County, through much of Columbia and into Dodge County. Just a tremendous amount of rain there, and we just don't need any more. Live view from the Edgewater Skycam. Looks like the rain has lightened up in the Madison area. High today, 76. The lows dropped to 66, so we won't set a record for the warmest low temperature for the date, but we were at 70 this morning for the overnight low. Heavy rain being reported at the airport with a 66-degree temperature. Winds, though, have shifted to the northeast at 8 miles per hour, and that's going to allow cooler air to move in. In fact, today, while we were in the mid-70s and temperatures were in the 80s in parts of southern Wisconsin, it was in the 50s up to the north and only 40s across northern Minnesota, and temperatures there have dropped into the 30s. So a huge temperature contrast, still 81 degrees in Moline, Illinois. That's about a 50-degree temperature contrast. So again, severe thunderstorm watch for our far southeastern viewers until midnight. Flash flood watch in effect for all of southern Wisconsin into tomorrow morning. Look for showers and thunderstorms, a few heavy downpours, especially south and east of Madison for the next couple of hours, low at 54. Then tomorrow, showers, a few isolated thunderstorms, not as heavy rain, and a cooler day with a high of 60. But again, any additional rainfall could lead to more flooding. Future track, you can see the heavier showers and storms moving on out tonight. A break during the day tomorrow, then more showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night. And then by Thursday morning, everything winds down. And we'll probably see some breaks in the clouds late in the day on Thursday. Additional rainfall amounts, generally the heaviest amounts will be south and east of Madison, but we still could be looking at least another inch through tomorrow and into early on Thursday before it all comes to an end. 7 to 10 day forecast. Look for temperatures to be much more fall-like. Shower and thunderstorm chance on Saturday, but the good news is look at next week. Dry weather Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and most of Thursday, and Friday as well.
Boy, we need that.
Yeah, as much as we can get in there.
Wow, Gary, thank you.
Well, good work tonight. You got to rest that voice now.
Yeah.
A little hoarse. All right, it's been a happy homecoming for Wesley Matthews so far. We'll have the story coming up in sports.
You know, this wild card game stuff is pretty thrilling. Every pitch feels like make or break with the season on the line. The Brewers and Washington Nationals, one game to keep their seasons alive and go to the National League Division Series. You know, Max Scherzer has 3 Cy Young Awards, is known for having a blue right eye and a brown left eye. Tonight, the Brewers had an eye for Scherzer's pitches early. As Monty Grandel and Eric Thames hit homers in the first 2 innings, Brewers had a 3-1 lead until the big play that decides it in the 8th. Bases loaded for the Nats, Juan Soto to right, and it bounds past Trent Grisham, and all 3 runs score before they tag Soto out at second. It's a crushing defeat to end the season for the Brewers. Washington wins at 4-3. The Nationals on to the division series against Los Angeles Thursday, and the Brewers come home season over. If you saw a lot of very tall people having dinner at the Tornado Room last night, that was the Milwaukee Bucks. They're in town practicing at the Nicholas Johnson Pavilion the next 3 days, getting ready for the 2019-2020 NBA season. One of the more notable additions in the offseason is former Madison Memorial and Marquette star Wesley Matthews. He's starting his 13th season in the league, and the Bucks are his 16th. He'll add defense and three-point shooting to the Bucks this season, and he's happy to be back home, back in Wisconsin.
Really, every time I go to practice, every time I step in the building, it's like it's familiar, but it's not at the same time. And you know, it's an awesome feeling. It's hard to explain to be able to be home and compete and do what you love.
Moving forward, you know, he's gonna know what time is it, but you know, first practice we gotta bring everybody together because we're gonna definitely need West going into the season.
A couple of weeks ago, the Wisconsin football team was a 35-point favorite to beat Central Michigan. This week, the Badgers are 37-point favorites to send Kent State home with a nice paycheck and a resounding defeat. Did you see Chris Orr blow up Northwestern quarterback last Saturday? He was untouched on this one and forced a fumble. So what's it like if you're a linebacker, nobody blocks you, and you have a clear path to blow up the quarterback?
Oh yeah, excitement. You definitely get a rush of joy. It's probably like a slight moment of like disbelief. It's like, I can't believe, like, they're not blocking me. Like, I can't believe it. And then it's quick. Yeah, then you believe. You make sure they remember to block you next time.
This week's Prep Mania High School football game of the week, Monona Grove at Oregon. Alan Minner joins me for the call Friday night, 7 o'clock, live on channel3000.com. And girls volleyball tonight, Cuba City visits Iowa Grant. First place on the line in the SWAL. First set, Cuba City's Kayla Stitch sets it to her sister Haley, who hits it down the line for the kill. Cubans get the first set. Second set, IG's Hazel Klosterman to Olivia Lidicote for the kill, and the Panthers lead that set early, but Cuba City too much for IG tonight. Stitch to Stitch again for the block and the point. Final score, Cuba City 3, Iowa Grant nothing, and we'll be right back.
Still have some strong thunderstorms with heavy rain from around Monroe to south of Janesville over toward Beloit. Some of these storms capable of producing an inch or two of rain per hour, but they are moving toward the south. You can see light to moderate rain still over much of southern Wisconsin. Flash flood warning for Dane County until 11:30 p.m. until 11:45 for Grant and parts of Dodge County. Flash flood watches and severe thunderstorm watch overnight.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you back here tomorrow.